Oh, it's in season, Kyle. Year round at this point. Camel toe at the gym? Slightly disgusting, but a complete reflection of these gals' confidence. Wow, right? DarbyCast, Economics Wednesday, and a lot of people have been asking me, and probably themselves in their private quarters, saying, how do I keep my confidence up in a world that wants to destroy my sense of self-esteem and make me feel like 10 pounds of hot garbage in Vietnam during the war? What a mess, right? That's how the establishment wants you to feel. And that's not news to the DarbyCast doctors. It's just not. You know that you need mechanisms built into your day-to-day to keep your spirits high. Kyle, I swear, if your dog chewing on that bone comes up on the audio, I'm going to be disappointed. I don't have any punishment to dish out to your dog. What kind of guy do you think I am, Kyle? Wipe that look of befuddlement off your face. So inappropriate. But where were we? Oh, right, confidence. Talk about a resource. Everybody these days is saying, I want to buy an Arby's franchise. And that takes money. But what comes before money? Confidence and inspiration. A couple episodes ago, I don't know how many, I teased at the idea of something called an Inspiration Saturday, but that is so closely aligned with Economics Wednesday, which I think we all can agree upon, that it doesn't even really make sense. I've been thinking about this. Do I need to release more episodes? Do we? Son of a bitch, Kyle. Really? Let's strike two. So where were we, Kyle? My goodness. Your level of professionalism some days is just like that of a drunk. You're never going to own an Arby's. If your phone rings in the middle of work, how are you supposed to maintain focus? Come up with a proper business plan. And yeah, Arby's corporate's obviously going to give you plenty of support. But at the end of the day, Kyle, you're going to have to sleep in the bed that you've made for yourself. And not silencing your phone? Talk about sleeping on a thin layer of straw atop concrete. Very uncomfortable. I think we can officially get into it now, though. DarbyCast doctors, and if you're a seasoned DarbyCast vet, you're probably asking yourself, when's he going to say it? When is he going to say it? And it's happening right now. If you're new to the show, leave. Get out. This just isn't going to be your speed. Or is it? Boom. Talk about a plot twist. Maybe you stick around. Maybe you see if this is for you. You want to know how to get fully acquainted with the DarbyCast? You listen to 2 episodes, any 2, and then you'll know. And DarbyCast doctors, just as a reminder, when you're sending people to DarbyCast, which I know you've been doing quite often, you got to send 2 episodes. You don't just send 1 episode because maybe they go, oh, that was great. And then they get back to feeding their Tamagotchi or growing pot or whatever people do with their time these days, or playing the Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, join the Thieves Guild as a cat person. Is that what people are doing? But you got to send 2 episodes. You really do. So some people right now, especially the newbies, are wondering, wow, how are you such a great guy? And I don't like talking about that. I really don't. So let's just get into the subject matter of the day. The SMOTD. Fierce acronym. People are wondering, they say, how do you keep yourself in such a positive lane? And I'm going to tell you right now, honest disclosure, my behind the scenes some days is a wreck. Kyle, you know that. What does it look like? You're asking yourself? You ever stared at a wall for 6 hours straight? not like thinking about anything, but just on autopilot. I did that about a week and a half ago. It was on a weekend, so that was totally my right to decompress that way. But it's not all Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in my world. So I need to draw upon others occasionally to lift my spirits. And where do I do that? You guessed it, the gym. And a lot of the time when I speak about the gym, it happens on a Monday sports episode, but I haven't done one of those in a really long time. There's plenty of sports things I could talk about, but I want to get into the economics of the gym because I don't think I've really taken that plunge, that deep dive, that high dive, cannonball fake out to a pencil dive. Boy, does that thrill a crowd when you do that in a metaphorical sense. You jump off a high dive, you're 30 meters in the air. Kyle, is that the height? Can you check that? And people are saying, well, he's doing a cannonball in a competition? And then you wow them with such a clean pencil dive. There are a few things that people really appreciate more than a pencil dive. I was at the gym the other day, great pool. I posted up watching a guy work on his pencil dives. And I was like, fill my tank up, sir. And I think he probably knew that I wasn't the only one watching him, that he was providing economic value to more than a score of people. Do you do that? That's a question for you to ask yourself today. Like, how do I pencil dive for other people? Because you get what you give, right? All of a sudden, you're putting on a pencil diving routine and people look over at you and say, I want to write a check on it with a 1 and let that guy or that gal fill in the zeros. That's an economic lesson for you. If you do something, you don't have to do a triple backflip. You just got to do a pencil dive expertly. But let's talk about the gym. Let's talk about the inspirational figures that I see constantly. The other day I saw a hefty unit and he was doing decline bench press, try to get the under chest. And we know why. The little gynecomastia happening in his world. And that's not a strong look for any guy. Fat tits, you don't want that. You're not going to be able to do a single deal in whatever industry you find yourself if after the meeting, the first piece of conversation that the people across the table are having is, how milky were that guy's tits, right? You don't want that. So this guy obviously doing the right thing in doing decline. And the right thing sounds pretty absolute, does it not? But then he took it a cut deeper. He went full drum solo, air drums, air steel drums, if we're being specific. It wasn't a regular drum solo. I could tell that he was keeping his strokes tight and maybe playing the Girls Gone Wild theme. Does that increase or decrease your confidence? Seeing something like that. I think we can all imagine what that does. What happened to me? Adrenaline rush, vascularity. All of a sudden, people across the gym are picking up on what energy is flowing through air steel drum guys' vibe into me. And there's this chain reaction. You ever heard of a nuclear reactor meltdown? Imagine that, but made out of positivity. Whoa, that is business. Let's talk about other inspirational figures who are the logical precursors to extreme success. I know we could get caught up talking about politics. Some of the listeners, especially the new people trying to prove something to themselves are saying, why aren't you talking about politics or something that bums me out? And it's like, why would I do that? You could go anywhere and locate a bummer pretty quickly. You could locate a score of bummers. That's a lot of bummers. But that's not what this is about. Certainly not today. another thought that you're having, and let me just head you off as these questions are arising in your domes. When's the next time travel journey? Who are we bringing? And I know exactly what's going down, and it's coming soon. Okay. But let's continue at the gym. How about the Zumba instructor who can't turn it off? MillionaireMindset.com. That guy has investment banker energy. Sure, he drives a Miata, but I don't judge. The guy could go up to Richard Branson. It's a billionaire, I think. Is he on the list, Kyle? Virgin Brands, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Mobile. He could go up to Branson, fist pump in his face, and Branson would say, I'd like to make a donation to your cause. And you better believe, with the level of body improv that a Zumba instructor is capable of, that is a mirror of his or her thoughts. And even if that instructor didn't have a 501c3 nonprofit organization, they could make up that they had one and take some capital from Branson and then make a Zumba studio, the likes of which the world's never seen. The world needs that right now. More Zumba? Have you ever seen somebody after a Zumba class? You ever seen how relaxed they are and how sexy they look? They've got a little glow to them. I don't care who you are, whether it's an 80-year-old man coming out of the Zumba class. It's like, wow, Arthur, take it easy, would you? You make some of these old hags in here pass out. That's it, right? It's like he had restless leg syndrome of the body. Is there such thing as restless body syndrome? Zumba instructors are certainly afflicted with that in a big way. And I don't want to say it's Parkinson's. It's not, right? But it's in that lane in a positive way. Who else has been inspiring me? You're wondering. How about the 80-year-old gal wearing a weight vest? What's that about? I'm so tired of how easy things have been. I think about this past couple years, and I'll be honest with you. I've had days where I've been like, things are tough. This is easy mode for somebody who's been through the depression. This lady. But here's where that lady gets even stronger. It's not just with the body. She has a strong spirit. And if you came to her with some complaining bullshit, she would receive you and say, let's jot down some business ideas. And you got to love that she's doing the weight vest and not the ankle weights. Ankle weights, people? Really inappropriate. Nothing worse than ankle weights. If you put some thought into it, you're like, wow, you're just going to pull on all the tendons of your knees constantly? You think life's one big joke, stupid son of a bitch? If you see somebody wearing ankle weights, you better tell them off, because that might actually be one of the unsung problems of our current society is ankle weights, people. That and people who don't know how to run correctly. What a disaster that is. I've been driving and seeing people out in the world, and I'm like, talk about pandemic V2. The plague of people who don't know how to run correctly. It's so off-putting. It's like nobody ever told them what to do with their arms. I've seen this gal jogging around a local park where Kyle and I frequent with the dog when we're trying to capitalize on a sunny day with a light breeze. And there's this gal who runs for upwards of 3 hours at a time, I would imagine. I don't stick around for the whole show, but she's shredded, but she doesn't move her arms when she runs. Haven't you seen people out in the world this year and you've just wanted to pull over your car? Maybe even crash your car into them and be like, you're going to take a couple plays off in the hospital. As you're healing, you're going to watch running videos and you're going to know that this is one of the nicest gifts that anybody's ever given you. Mangling your skeleton. What a treat. Some of you right now, actually most of you are wondering, what gym is this? How high end is this? It's very high end. Okay. I'm going to just be forthright with you. This gym is not cheap, but you get what you pay for. If you want the kind of inspiration that I am harvesting, you got to put yourself in a position to succeed and over-index on your monthly gym dues. That is one route up the mountain of inspiration that some people look at as saying, this is Everest. I can't climb it, but let me be your Sherpa, right? Let me take you to base camp, make you some really average ramen, and then we'll keep going. There's rich guys at this gym that are trying to put off the look that they haven't showered in years. They want to look so close to homeless. And it's like, you're not fooling anybody. Clayton, you stupid son of a bitch. I saw you pull up in a lime green Lamborghini. And you pulled out your own jar of flies, smeared a little poop on you, trying to make people think that you're not who you are. I don't approve of that. Not at all. You know what I like most about this gym? I haven't seen a single nipple guy the entire time. That's what you really get when you start forking out a little cash and saying, I need to invest to get the correct yields. The last gym that I went to, I wasn't putting enough in. You know who else isn't putting enough in? That's right, nipple guy. The guy who's wearing the tank top that doesn't cover his nipples. And it's like, dude, this is not a good look. Who told you that you could pull this off? Who else inspires me at the gym to really make me think anything's possible in this world in terms of business and helping others? The extreme cuck. The guy who follows around the chick in purple and they're not dating, but he offers to take videos. It's a bit of a head scratcher for some of you, saying, why is that inspiring? Because sometimes you got to look at somebody and be like, I'm glad I'm not where you're at. I'm just so glad. Is that guy ever going to own an Arby's franchise? You bet your ass he's not. Here was a bit of an eerie, inspirational figure I want to tell you about. In the episode Baywatch Studies, that was quite recent, Kyle and I had been talking about his dream girl in the looks department, what she would be putting out there. And he said, small tits, huge eyebrows. And I half scoffed at that. But the other day I was in the gym and this chick, my goodness, wife beater, no bra, maybe mid-20s. And I don't know what the opposite of microblading is, but she was doing that. Maybe she's getting extra eyebrow hairs sewn in. What's the motivational message I pull from that? Obviously, speaking something into existence happens often for me and Kyle. That's an emboldening thought. What else? Unconventional sex appeal exists. Somebody go out there and monetize that, right? And I'm not talking about being the dope who says everybody's beautiful, because that's just not true. That's something that ugly people say. But attractive, adjacent looks, oh, they exist. And maybe I'm not even doing this justice, this chick, but she's a canvas on which to paint businesses. Kyle, you have to go up to her. Shoot your shot, man. Tell her that you think she's dazzling. She would never shoot that down. No woman would, ever. You could go up to just about any gal in this world of ours and say, DazzleFest2021.com. Are you the owner/operator of that website? And you're in. That's how you find yourself a wife. Okay, Kyle? But let's continue. I saw Wolf Blitzer the other day, and sure, it might not have been Blitzer himself, but he was Blitzer-esque. This tiny little fellow with a beard who looked super pissed and like a liar. And to me, that was a guardrail of saying, no business that I'm ever going to be a part of will make products that will be useful to guys like this. Set boundaries and enforce them is what I'm trying to say here. Who else inspired me to go out and jack up my creative output, which will yield business, earnings, capital, balance sheet in the green? Wilford Brimley doing abs. Kyle, you're saying it couldn't have been? Wilford Brimley died August 1st, 2020? Well, then maybe the ghost of Brimley's there, reminding people about the dangers of type 2 diabetes. Riddle me this. How are you going to get anything done if you're stricken with type 2 diabetes? Good luck, right? Wilford Brimley was in the Marine Corps, and he starred in Western films. And when I say starred, I mean he was kind of a part of them. Really periphery character. But he stole the show, so he starred in it. Understand what that's about economically, obviously. This is an Economics Wednesday, so let's stay on topic. R.I.P. Brimley. Side note, when I grew up, I said diabetes, and then I saw a Wilford Brimley commercial, and he said diabetes. And that was a game changer. What game it changed and how it changed said game, both entirely unclear. But you better believe that that's what went down. The number of business ideas that you've probably come up with throughout the course of this episode might be hitting you so hard in the enthusiasm department that after this, you're going to have to take out a Palm Pilot and start mapping a course to extreme financial success. That might be the case. Let's talk about somebody at this high-end gym that I was not impressed by. The lady with what the Japanese call sanpaku eyes, where the whites of her eyes are visible above her iris at all times. So creepy. You've seen those people out in the world. Their internal processing is not okay. Very scattered, emotionally, spiritually. As soon as those people pick up a Bible, their eyes go back to normal. But until they do that, boy, are they freaking people out. That's just showing you that I'm not inspired by everybody and that I'm not going to lie to you here. How much did I just jack up my credibility with you? Because I was saying some pretty positive things about everybody, and I don't have positive things to say about everybody. I really don't. And I need you to know that. And Sanpaku Eyes Lady, bone chilling. It would be difficult to convince me that that lady didn't spend the better part of her waking hours fantasizing about drowning cats. I just get that sense, as does everyone who sees somebody with those menacing and threatening eyeballs. Yuck. Now let's get back to people brimming with positivity. Chick with a couple tattoos who kind of looks like a lumberjack who frequently takes trips to Tokyo. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Has half of the head shaved and her name, guaranteed, is Dawn, Dawn. Such powerful legs, such unresolved emotional trauma, not often discussed. She doesn't bring it up, but if you invited her into that space and really just gave her a simple question, quick little lead in and said, "Hey, Dawn, what's up?" She immediately takes full license to unload and say, "My last trip to Tokyo was not what I needed it to be." And it's like, Dawn, I get it. I totally get it. Now let me tell you about Arby's and taking the steps to putting one next to a freeway with the intent to siphon off some market share from Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out Burger, which are two restaurants that definitely put out superior cuisine. But you've got an ace up your sleeve, Dawn, and it's called curly fries. Her eyes just light up, and she says, "My dad left when I was 4. It's like, Dawn, we're not close enough to talk about this. How about the next person? It's a chick, and she's almost hot. You know what? No, she is hot. Kyle, she's hot, right? The one who looks kind of like a special needs clown, but also really pulls that look off in a way that nobody could have ever seen coming. She just walks up the stairs and you look over and you're like, that chick can't read and she's wearing too much makeup, but I'm gonna allow it. And she does 3 hours of glutes every day. And it's like, have you heard of other muscle groups, Katrina? Have you? Because you're dipping into overtraining, and that's going to lead to injury. And that's a business lesson and a half. If you can extrapolate a key concept like that into the world of ones, zeros, X's, and O's, deals, and heartbreak. A chick knows all about those things. Sort of. She doesn't know a lot about anything. Who am I kidding? I'm not done talking about these wonderful people that have really topped up my tank as it relates to confidence and poise, readiness for the next big thing. Because all these people are big deals in their own right. The 50-some-odd-year-old lady who looks like Elton John and walks like Ellen DeGeneres as she comes out on the set of her show. There is so much raw power that comes with a look like that. And I think that lady knows what she's doing. She put up some numbers on bench. And I was like, and it seems to me you lived your life like a lesbian wearing Converse. That's the thought that came up for you, probably before I sang. I suppose we could wrap this up, couldn't we, Kyle? How many people have I hit? Enough? Not nearly enough? Or barely scraping the surface? What did I just do there, Kyle? Tell me after the show, okay? We're going to talk about the biggest business lesson personified that I've seen in recent history. And that is a guy in his mid-40s who drives a golf cart to the gym. Not in good shape, but getting there. He might never get there, but he's aiming for success. And that's a huge business call out. You're not going to hit what you don't aim at. His golf cart broke down the other day, and he was chopping it up with the guy driving the tow truck. And I was so impressed that this guy took time out of his day to connect with someone new. How about that for a business lesson? How about you invite somebody into your world, maybe through an unfortunate circumstance, like you were tanked the night before and you forgot to charge your golf cart and it broke down, as a business metaphor. But what did that guy do? He turned it around and he was so sociable. He hugged the tow truck guy at the end, and the tow truck guy wasn't about that. But you know who was? Me. I was like, wow, never issuing an apology for bringing good cheer into the world. Are you doing that in business or not in business? Volunteering. What about that? That's another episode in itself. The economics of volunteering. And there's one idiot listening to the DarbyCast right now who said to themselves, that's oxymoronic. The economics of volunteering, it's unpaid work. How much do we all just hate that guy or that gal? Or maybe it's a couple listening to the DarbyCast together and they'd be like, you don't make money volunteering. It's like, certainly not with an attitude like that. You know that golf cart guy, big meat, he tithes his time. He drives to Texas to sue people over abortion stuff. And it's like, talk about the hero everybody was asking for, right? And he does it for free. Doesn't take any of the proceeds. Just a passion project. And that's where great business ideas start. You have to be passionate about it. Your heart's got to be in it. And Big Meat knows it. That guy is such a pro. He hates when chicks murder their unborn children because he's got a big heart and a mighty spirit and a thick unit. You know what kind of guys enjoy abortion? That's right. Guys with skinny wieners. Oh, it might be long as all hell, but skinny as a pencil. That's the kind of guy who's like, these chicks have to be able to murder their youth. So satanic. Got enough business ideas for you? Because that's DarbyCast Economics Wednesday, and you just got party favors. Stay tuned for the next episode. Turn on the notifications on whatever platform you happen to enjoy DarbyCast on. On the platform on which you enjoy DarbyCast, there we go. That sentence didn't end with a preposition. Some genius out there is going to find a way to monetize what I just said there. But that's DarbyCast Economics Wednesday. Kyle, let's go watch Roger Federer highlights. Okay?